Hi students, now let us go to So hi students, now let us come to the next part of experiment for under this electrical machines 1 laboratory, that is Swinburne test. Swinburne test is basically a no load test on DC machines, especially on shunt machines. So we cannot conduct this Swinburne test on series machines. So we need to conduct only on DC shunt machines. Okay. So coming to this Swinburne test, so first let us see the circuit diagram. This is the circuit diagram. So as explained in the case of speed control, we have again 4-point starter here, where with all 4 terminals L, LL, A, F, A and F. So supply is here, and this is the DC shunt motor, because we are going to take only shunt field winding here, Z terminals. So from positive terminal, it is connected to the positive of ammeter and positive of voltmeter, and then again to connected to SPST switch. And the other end of this ammeter and SPST switch are connected to the L, then LL is connected to the negative, F is connected to the positive terminal of field ammeter, and negative terminal is connected to the starting terminal of this field rheostat. And variable point, see here, this is variable point. This variable point is connected to Z, and ZZ is connected to negative. Again AA is connected to negative, voltmeter other end is connected to negative. So this is what the connections of the circuit diagram for Swinburne test. See here, before starting the machine, we have to ensure that the switch must be in closed position. This is very important. Is clear? Now coming to the nameplate details. Only shunt motor you please consider, not alternator. Same rating machine, 5 HP motor, that gives you approximately 3.73 kilowatts, voltage rating 220, ampere rating 19 amperes, and rated speed is 1500 rpm, and armature resistance 3.5 ohms, and shunt field resistance as 216 ohms. The same details are shown on the actual nameplate of the machine. So if you see, the rating is 5 HP, or even in terms of kilowatts also, this is 5 HP, 220 volts, armature current rating 19 amperes, rated speed 1500 rpm. Another point which we need to measure, note down, is field current. Amps 1.0. This is the field current of, or maximum field current that can be applied to this DC motor, that is 1 ampere. From this nameplate details, you need to identify the ratings of voltmeters. So where the ammeter rating is taken as 0 to 5 amperes. Why it should be taken as 5 amperes only? Even though the armature rating is 19 amperes, but we are going to take only 5 amperes rating, 0 to 5. The reason for this is, this machine is not loaded. It is to be conducted under no load conditions. So under no load conditions, the current taken by the motor will be always less than 5 amperes. So hence we need to take 0 to 5 amperes as range of this ammeter. Of course, plus terminal, minus terminal. And voltmeter directly are connecting to 230 volts, hence range of this voltmeter must be 0 to 300. And this is the field ammeter. As mentioned earlier in the nameplate details, the field current is 1 ampere only maximum. Therefore, you can take the range as 0 to 2 amperes. So all these meters, of course, this experimental is basically a DC test. So you need to take moving coil instruments for these ammeters as well as voltmeters. Once we are thorough with the deciding the ratings of ammeters, and also if you know the circuit diagram thoroughly, then we can go for giving connections to the machine. That is based on the circuit diagram. So from plus terminal, from supply, first we will see. From supply, one terminal is to be given to the SPST switch. See from the diagram, SPST switch here. Another terminal is also connected here to the voltmeter. See, another terminal is connected to the voltmeter, and one more terminal is connected to the ammeter also. This is one more terminal. From the from plus terminal, or even SPST same terminal also. So it is connected to the ammeter starting terminal, that is positive. Other end of this ammeter is connected to other end of the SPST switch. See here, this is the second terminal of SPST switch, and from here again it is connected to L of the 4-point starter. Now from A of 4-point starter, it is to be connected to the armature terminals here A, and F terminal of 4-point starter is to be connected to the field terminal of ammeter, that is positive terminal of ammeter, and other end of this ammeter is then connected to the field rheostat starting terminal, and this is the variable terminal, nothing but second end terminal. From here it is connected to Z, and from ZZ AA are connected and then connected to the negative terminal. So AA and ZZ are interconnected, but from here straight away can give it to the negative. Therefore AA and ZZ, they are connected to negative terminal, and from LL it is also connected to negative terminal, and you can see here voltmeter negative terminal is also taken, so it is connected to negative terminal. That's about what the circuit connections of Swinburne test as per the circuit diagram. Please ensure the switch must be in closed position before starting. Now let us start the machine. So give the supply here, turn on the DPST switch, slowly run the machine. So the DC motor is run with the help of 4-point starter, and we need to see the speed of that machine. Measure the speed. It is 1425 RPM only, but we need to run it at its rated speed. So what you have to do? You have to vary the field rheostat. So measure that and measure the speed. So speed is 15. It's already crossed. RPM. So once if the speed of the motor is equal to its rated speed, you see this is in closed position. So after running this machine at its rated speed, then we have to open the switch. See here, SPST switch is open. Then you need to measure the values. So values are to be noted. The field current, it is 0.425. Field current 0.425 multiplied by 2, because it is connected to 2 amperes, and this reading is showing only up to the maximum deflection is 1. Therefore you need to multiply this current into 2. So field current is 0.425 amperes into 2, 0.425.85, and the armature current, line current. So here we are not calling armature, we are calling it as line current, because the ammeter is connected in the line. So this is connected here, so we take this as line current. So IL is equal to 0.445, or you can also take it is 4.5 amperes, and it is connected to 5 amperes. So you should make it to half, because the deflection it is from 0 to 10. Therefore the reading that is to be obtained here, it should be halved. So the line current is what? 4.5 divided by 2. So it is 2.25 amperes. Now the voltage, terminal voltage is 224 volts. So only one reading is enough for the Swinburne test. So what you have to do? You have to, that is from this no load readings, you need to measure different efficiencies. You have to find out the efficiencies at different loads. So how to measure or how to find out that efficiencies at different loads will be explained shortly.
తెలుస్తుంది కదా, ఇక్కడ మెయిన్ డిఫరెన్స్ తెలిస్తే చెప్పగలుగుతారు. అంటే ఇది వోల్టేజ్ కాన్స్టెంటే ఉంటుంది, IL మారుస్తాము.
Please see here, voltage is kept constant, load current is to be assumed, that is changed from its no load value to that of what? Full load value. Even you can find out the load current up to 19 amperes also, because rated current of this DC motor is what? 19 amperes. So you can assume, here assumption is to be taken. That means no load current is taken practically, but after that you are going to assume the load currents or the line currents. So as I said earlier, we have measured 2.25 amperes or 2.115. Then the field current is taken 0.76 and find out what is IA for a motor. IL minus IF, because for motor, if you see, for motor the line current is taken here and part of that line current is going to field and remaining current goes to armature. Therefore, from IL, if you want to find out IA, it must be IL minus IF. So hence you are going to take IL minus IF. Then you need to calculate load losses. So see here a sample calculation. What is armature copper loss? IF we have measured, that is equal to IL minus IF, that is equal to I square into 3.7. 3.7 is the armature resistance, so 7.14 watts. Similarly, field copper loss, voltage of that field winding voltage is 220 and field current is already I have measured, that is, so as a sample here 0.76. You are going to get field copper loss, and then mechanical loss plus iron losses you need to calculate. What do you mean by mechanical losses here? Nothing but rotational losses. So both rotational loss and iron losses put together we need to measure. How to measure that means from the armature input you have to subtract armature copper loss. Then only you will be getting mechanical loss plus iron losses. So you can measure as shown here. Similarly, total constant loss is equal to what? Mechanical loss plus iron loss plus field copper loss is to be included, because already we calculated field copper loss. So add field copper loss to mechanical loss plus iron losses, that will give you total constant losses. This total constant losses is to be considered for every load. Now to find out efficiency as a motor, see here, assume that armature current drawn by the armature is 3.24, so already measured. Then input to the motor you need to calculate, that is equal to input to the armature plus input to the field. So or simply you can write down 220 into 4, that is 280 watts. Similarly, total losses is equal to what? Constant losses already we measured earlier. So that plus armature copper loss will give you the total losses. Hence the total losses PL is equal to you calculated. Now what about output is equal to what? Input minus total losses. What is input? Already we calculated. Input is nothing but this voltage multiplied by this current gives you the input. So already that is found here, and from that total losses if you remove, you are going to get output. Therefore efficiency as a motor. Similarly, efficiency as a generator you need to find out for a generator, for a DC machine. So again, current delivered by the armature is what? 2.91 amperes. Then output is what? Already terminal voltage we have measured, so that voltage multiplied by IL gives you the output. Similarly, you need to find out total losses. What are the armature losses plus constant losses? Constant losses already measured here. For that, if you add armature copper loss, you will be getting total losses. So what about input now? Already we calculated output and total losses. Add these two, you will be getting input. Therefore, efficiency you can find out by using that formula, output by input into 100. So that's how you need to calculate efficiency of the DC machine as a motor and also as a generator from Swinburne test. And you need to plot the characteristics between efficiency and the load current for generator as well as motor. This is the graph. Is it clear? So generator efficiency starts from 0 and motor efficiency starts from of course a given load, because for a motor you are going to have already starting current, that is no load current. That is why though no load current is existing, but output of the motor will be 0 under no load current. Hence we say that at 2.2 amperes approximately the efficiency is 0. That is why you are getting the difference between the generator and motor from the beginning, and it continues. This is how to draw the characteristics between efficiency and load current for DC machine as a generator and as a motor. So that's all about Swinburne test. and how to predetermine the efficiency of DC machine both as a generator and as a motor. Thank you.